Hi, my name is Lee Earlywine, owner and CEO of GI Lee LLC, personal training company located here in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm an ACSM certified personal trainer as well as a bachelor's in exercise science. Today I'm going to do a video to give you a little bit of information about nutrition. Uh, Nutrition is one of the hardest things for people to get down. No matter what you do in the gym, 90% of total body change is going to be nutrition. So in order to help you along that path, I'm going to give you some friendly advice that might assist you in eating more proper and getting towards your fitness goals. Alright, so I have two basic rules that I use for any of my clients. The first one is avoid crap. That's C-R-A-P. It's a funny little acronym, but it kind of helps you remember the things you want to avoid. The C stands for chocolates, cookies, cakes, things like that. Obviously, you know are bad for you. R is going to be more refined sugars. Those are things we may not notice so much. A is going to be alcohol. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram. We'll get more into that later. And then P is for processed food. A lot of our food nowadays is processed. So many additives, preservatives, and things like that are added into our food to help them last longer, but unfortunately these have harmful side effects to our bodies. Now the second rule I tell all my clients, when it comes to shopping, if you want to stay healthy, you want to shop around the outside of the store. You'll notice in most grocery stores when you go to the outside, you have your breads and whole grains. You have your produce, your fruits and vegetables. You have your dairy, your eggs, your cheese, your meats. Now when you go into the inside aisles, that's where you're going to locate all your canned foods, your processed foods, your cereals, your household cleaning products, and all those things that are going to kind of be chemical induced. In the freezer aisles, you want to stay away from any processed foods such as a Hungry Man meal or a TV dinner. However, if you get some flash frozen type veggies or fruits, those are okay. Alright, so it gives you a little bit more background. So in the rest of the time I got left here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to break down the different types of calories. Now notice a lot of people, they worry about their calories. So what is a calorie? Well, a calorie is pretty much how much energy there is in an object or amount of energy per se. When you exercise, you burn calories. When you eat, you consume calories. And basically, calories stem from 4 sources. 3 of them you're fairly common with. The 4th one you probably wouldn't think about. Alright, you have protein, carbs, fats, and alcohol. Now each of these has its own signifier for how many calories there is per gram. Protein and carbs are the same. There's 4 calories per gram. Fat is 9 calories per gram, and alcohol is 7 calories per gram. Now, one of the things people misunderstand about fat's a boogeyman to a lot of people. Obviously, we know we don't want a lot of trans fat. We don't want a lot of polysaturated fat. We want to avoid those fatty foods like fried foods and cooked in oil and those kinds of fats. But there's healthy fats. The healthy fats would include your nuts, any kind of nuts pretty good. The fats that come in your fish, fish oil, you name it. Those are healthy fats. We want to keep those in our diet. And when we bring down the fats, we want to make sure we're keeping those healthy fats in our diet. We want to eliminate those bad fats, such as your cakes and your cookies and the things that we know are bad for us. Next, I'm going to go into carbs. Like I said, carbs have 4 calories per gram. Carbs there's different types of carbs. You have fibrous carbs, which is you have fiber in it, and then there's sugar carbs, which are bad for you. Now the problem with the sugar carbs is the body readily stores that as fat. That's where a lot of fat comes from, is from sugary type substances. We eat a cake and then it goes, like I say, it goes straight to your thighs, So we want to avoid a lot of sugary carbs. Now you'll notice that most of your veggies have a lot of fiber in them. Well, what happens with fiber? Fiber is used for digestive health. So even though you can count it in your daily intake of carbs and your daily intake of calories, it's not necessarily bad for you because it's digested. When you're digesting, that fiber is used up in the process of digestion. So that takes out, like I said, your two major types is going to be your starches, your sugars, and then you have your fibers, which are a little bit healthier. Next is going to be protein. Protein is your building block of the body. It's not just for building muscle, but also any kind of cell in the body, whether it's hair, skin cell, you name it. It's a building block. Think of it as like brick and mortar of a building. It's what builds your body up. It doesn't necessarily have to be muscle, but you need protein in your diet. And one of the things that's misconceived about protein is the amount of protein people should take in. A lot of people say 1.5 grams per pound of body weight. This is highly inaccurate. It's supposed to be to 1 to 1.5 per kilogram. There's 2.2 kilograms to a pound. So really you should be taking about 1/2 to 3/4 of a gram of protein per pound of weight. That's a common misconception out there. Now, it's a little bit different for someone like me. I'm getting ready for a bodybuilding show. I need more protein. I have to continuously put protein in my body to keep my body moving or keep my body building, because I'm constantly trying to build mass. So it's a little bit different for me versus general population. General population do not need that much protein. They need some, especially as they're younger. They need it to help with continuing their growth and maturation of a young child, middle-aged child, or what have you. But protein is one of those things that, once again, it's a boogeyman, just kind of like fat. People say, well, you need more, you need less, or this kind of protein is good, this kind of protein is bad. There's positives and negatives to all that. Now, the difference between protein versus carbs and fats is carbs and fats are used as primary energy sources. Fats are your energy system at less than 75% of exertion. Carbs is your energy system above 75% of exertion. So what we want to do when we're eating, we want to eat more carbs earlier in the day to help us get through the day. In the evening, we want to tailor it off and go more towards fats. The reason why, the fats, they're going to burn a little bit more slowly, because when you're at rest, remember we're below that 75% of exertion, so we're going to burn the fats in the evening, because in the evening you're probably going to be laying around, getting ready to go to bed, and then when you go to sleep, you're going to be laying around. You're not going to be actively working as if you were moving throughout the day. So one of those little things I like to point out when it comes to the energy systems, one of the little things I use with my clients is eat browns early, eat colors late. Now what I mean by that is eat browns early, so your oatmeal, your brown rice, your whole grain pasta, eat that within your first 3 meals of the day. Eat greens or eat colors late. So you want to eat more veggies in your last few meals. You know, you get that chicken salad or some fish and asparagus, or some kind of lean meat and some broccoli. You know, try to go more towards the veggies and things like that in the evening. And then for your fats, you can add in some nuts with your meal, macadamia, pecans, almonds, you know, cashews. Throw those in at the evening to get your fat stores up, get your fat levels up. And then if you're eating a salad, you can kind of go with some of the salad dressings. I avoid most myself, but you can't go wrong with any olive oil. Olive oil is awesome on salad. Also, something that's fat-free that some people like to add, and it really brings out the taste in romaine, is lemon juice. It tastes awesome on romaine lettuce, and like I said, lemon juice is actually used by some people for its fat-burning effect, so you have that benefit as well. So to go back to our point, I told you the first three: fats, carbs, and proteins. The last is going to be alcohol. Alcohol is completely detrimental to the body. First off, it destroys your metabolism. Number two, it's empty calories, because your body can't do anything with the alcohol. It has no purpose. The body can use the protein for building and can use the fats and the carbs for proper energy systems. But with alcohol, all you're doing is you're slogging down the body. It's kind of like you have a sports car and you're putting regular plain gas into the car. It's not going to affect the car right away, but over periods of time, it's not going to be as good for it as if you put high octane, you know, premium fuel in the vehicle. It's kind of the same thing. Alcohol doesn't have immediate effect. It takes time. But the thing about alcohol, it is addicting, just like any other drug on the market, any other, not necessarily have to be a drug. Caffeine itself is addictive. Cigarettes is addictive. Those are classified as drugs, but they are addictive and habit forming. Well, it's the same thing with alcohol. It becomes a routine. what happens is you continue that routine, you continue to introduce what I consider poison into the body, because that's what alcohol is. Alcohol is basically poison. It wrecks the liver. It destroys the metabolic rate of the body. It screws up your metabolism, and that's why it causes weight gain. On top of the fact of the choice of foods that we have while we're drinking alcohol tend to be not so healthy in themselves. So that was a quick little rundown. I tried to break down a little bit of nutritional information for you today. I didn't go into too much detail because there's a lot more than what I could cover today. But the goal I had today was just to give you a little bit of information about fats, carbs, proteins, and alcohol, so you kind of get a basis of, okay, what's good for me, what's bad, and what I need to modify. Feel free to like my Facebook page at www.facebook.com/GILeeTraining. Check out my website at www.gibootcamps.com. Or if you have any questions, feel more than welcome to email me at gileetraining@gmail.com. This is G.I. Lee, Lee Early One, signing off. Have a good day.